Good morning and welcome to Mission Control Houston and Space Station Live. All 6 members of the Expedition 37 crew currently are resting after a long day of launch and docking activities on Wednesday. Watching over the systems while they're asleep, we have the Space Station Flight Control Team, led today by Flight Director Tony Sakachi. There's no Capcom on duty today as the crew is sleeping and we don't expect to need to talk to them. The full Expedition 37 crew now on board the station includes Russian Commander Fyodor Yurchikhin, U.S. Flight Engineer Karen Nyberg, and European Space Agency Flight Engineer Luca Parmitano, all of whom have been at the station since May 28th, 120 days in all. And then there are also the 3 newly arrived crew members, U.S. Flight Engineer Mike Hopkins and Russian Flight Engineers Oleg Kotov and Sergei Rosansky. Hopkins, Kotov, and Rosansky launched aboard their Soyuz TMA-10M from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan at 3:58 p.m. Central Time yesterday, kicking off a 6-month stay in space. Everything went smoothly during their liftoff, and they followed in the previous 2 crews' steps to make the journey to the International Space Station in just about 6 hours. They arrived at 9:45 p.m. Central Time and opened hatches at 11:34 p.m. Some views here of that launch, which again took place at 3:58 p.m. yesterday.
Fly now.
And the Soyuz is now on its way with Mike Hopkins, Oleg Kotov, and Sergei Rosansky on a 6-hour ride to the International Space Station.
All nominal. There is final course.
Following their arrival at the space station, the existing crew members gave their new counterparts a safety briefing and a tour of the station, and then everyone was able to begin getting ready for bed. Nyberg, Parmitano, and Yurchikhin had been up since about 2:30 a.m. that morning with a few hours set aside for naps in the middle of the day, and Hopkins, Kotov, and Rosansky received their wake-up call at 7:30 a.m. back on the ground. Their sleep time officially started at 4 a.m. today, and they won't be back on duty until about 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. So we don't expect to hear much from them in the meantime, as there are no tasks on their to-do list. Friday will also be a light duty day for the crew, with only a few activities scheduled on their timeline, which should leave the crew well rested if they're called upon to bring Orbital Sciences Cygnus cargo vehicle in for a berthing to the International Space Station. Cygnus, which is making its maiden demonstration flight to the station, was originally supposed to dock this past Sunday, but when it established direct data contact with the space station, some of the data it received had unexpected values. That caused the spacecraft to reject the data and interrupt its approach in sequence. Orbital subsequently found the causes of the discrepancy and developed and tested a software fix. Now Orbital and NASA will spend the next 2 days determining whether, or when rather, Cygnus's next rendezvous will take place. For now, the space station is orbiting about 266 miles above the Indian Ocean, with Cygnus trailing closely behind. And that's what's going on in space today. This is Mission Control Houston.